go whenever.
There's a bird up there. Cool. So where did you find this?
It was in my special cupboard that no one knows about. So.
I won't ask questions. Okay, cool.
As if by magic, we've got some new make.
Amazing, grand. So this is kind of like something that more folks have been getting switched on to the last few years, which is kind of like, this is where the journey starts. I'm kind of doing a job for you almost today, but yeah, I always love getting the opportunity to try some new beer because you kind of get to see sort of where we are before it goes into.
Absolutely. I mean, there's so many distilleries in Scotland, and there's more popping up literally every single day at the minute. This is the DNA of Aberfeldy. It can't be anything else. Every distillery is the exact same processes, but it's those subtle differences that give you that big influence and difference in character. It's like we're saying Aberfeldy, relatively long fermentation, tall, narrow stills, run very slowly. When you have a nose or even a sip of this, I mean, I'd approach a caution is 71% alcohol.
It's fine, I'm not driving the bus back, don't worry about it.
But it is, incredibly fruity, very easy drinking, really sweet as well.
It's everything with the whiskies that we've had so far, just dialed up to 11 and then taken a little bit further.
Yeah, all you're missing is that classic range of flavours you get from the cask.
Yeah, so it doesn't have kind of like, a lot of sort of the sweeter elements that have come with that, but
yeah.
The fruit is very much kind of like front and centre.
It's ridiculously easy drinking. So in my time in the industry, I've had nearly from probably about 30 or 35 distilleries. I was going to say I've had the privilege, but I don't know if that's necessarily the word, because new make's generally not the nicest thing to drink, but this is so easy drinking as it is, even at 71%.
Wowza. Yeah, that's a dangerous liquid in just about every I can't form sentences anymore. That's
you know you're enjoying it.
Yeah, I'm having a great time. I'm just here surrounded by barrels and drinking whiskey and new make. There's nothing that's not to be loved about today. How many requests do you get from can I take a bottle of this home?
Oh, a lot. A
Yeah.
lot. One thing we do a lot on site is we take guests into Tillyburn, a water source. Let them try some of this stuff, and then we build it into a hot toddy. It is ridiculously good in a hot toddy. But sadly...
Not least because it's 71%.
71%, obviously, but sadly we're not allowed to sell this. We don't give it away. That's external.
It's worth asking, though. I mean,
Absolutely.
one day maybe like, there's something in this.
The amount of requests we get for getting some of this for going to cocktails, it's unbelievable.
I mean, I can see why as well, because it has such an interesting character. Like, I've often heard people describing new make as like, oh, it's Scotland's contribution to vodka, and there's a lot more to it.
Oh, just so much more than that.
Three
very simple ingredients: water, yeast, malted barley, but there's so much flavour in there from very simple processes. What?
Oh, I love this. I'm just requesting stuff and things are appearing.
Click your fingers.
Yeah, it's like, what's the oldest whiskey? I see there's a barrel of Roseback over there. Do we have any kicking around? I mean, how far can I push my luck here?
Sadly, we don't have that on site. So the room at the minute is the filling store. So where we basically used to put the stuff in casks. So actually behind you, that's the old spirit receiver. So the stuff that is collecting off the stills up until kind of the early to mid-90s, we're filling the cask on site. We've not aged here for about 50 years.
Okay.
So we'd fill the cask from here, roll them next door, leave them for that aging. But within the filling, so we've got all these casks around us. These are representing different whisky divisions at one point in our Dewar's white label blends. So they're here less talk about Aberfeldy and more about the Dewar's side of things, because Aberfeldy is just one ingredient that's in Dewar's. For all of our blends, 35 to 40 whiskies in there. But the reason we have these here, we're not giving away the secret recipe. Since white label was established back in 1899, 70% of these distilleries actually closed down, so don't exist anymore. So it's just to show the skill of the master blender, getting that consistent flavour profile from an ever-rolling inventory of stock they have in their warehouse.
Okay, so there's almost a degree of kind of like the history of Scotch whisky production from birth to death almost coming through
Absolutely.
the brand. Absolutely. Okay. I mean, there's a few names here that I don't even recognise, and I like to think that I'm fairly well read on some of the old, like, for example, this barrel over here, Yoker, I thought that said Joker at first, and I was like, at what point was the film doing about? But no, that's...
yeah, Yoker's...
Roland Distillery.
So a lot of the ones we have here, they're old kind of grain distilleries, and some of them malt as well, to be fair, from kind of around Glasgow and Edinburgh. with the various booms and busts in the industry, the advent of, coffee, column stills and all the rest, and kind of the industrialising of certain types of production, a lot of smaller sites just closed. So that's the story for a lot of ones we have listed here, but other ones, Rosebank, like you pointed out, also got Dallas Dew, Parkmore, various ones have just closed throughout the history of Scotch whisky, because as you know, it's been historically a very boom or bust industry.
Yeah, it's having a good time at the moment. Who can say what the future holds? But I mean, if it sticks strong, then things are looking good.
Everyone talks about the kind of golden yesteryear of whisky. Yeah. Whisky right now is better than it's ever been before. Everyone talks about these casks from like the 70s and 80s. Like the whisky you're enjoying now was filled into awful casks. It's so good because it was awful casks. It's oxidising. Whisky has never been better than it is right now. So it's a great time to be enjoying new making a warehouse, for example.